The USCCA has addressed President Biden regarding his promised gun control initiatives. Stick by and watch this episode of Guns and Gadgets to learn more. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. Today's episode is brought to us by the USCCA. The United States Concealed Carry Association has a ton of training and education available to members, and it also supplies you with a self-defense liability insurance that you can use when you make that life-altering decision to protect yourself or someone else in an armed self-defense encounter. That's right, guys and gals, the USCCA will be there. Hit that link down below. It's uscca.com/GNG. They are a big sponsor of Guns and Gadgets, so please check them out. Give them a little bit of love. Right down below is that link, uscca.com/GNG. All right, let's get into this video about the USCCA and their letter to President Biden. Yesterday, the founder and president of the USCCA, Tim Schmidt, penned a letter to President Biden, and he also released a video about the same letter. Now, I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to put it here on the screen because I got a lot of calls this morning. A lot of people reached out regarding this letter because they didn't read the whole thing, and that's why I wanted to go over it with you. And you can see here it was to President Joseph Biden at the White House. If you want, utilize that address if you want to write something to the president about his gun control plans as well. But the letter says, "Dear Mr. President, on behalf of the more than 550,000 members of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association and the more than 500 employees at our Wisconsin headquarters and around the country, I am writing in response to your recent call for common sense gun law reforms." Now, the next part is what has people on edge. It's got them tweaking out a little bit. While we can agree that there are several common sense and long overdue changes needed to our nation's gun laws, we firmly believe that the path forward should be focused on supporting and protecting responsible, law-abiding Americans, not criminalizing and punishing them. Sadly, the anti-gun proposals you have laid out thus far, both as a candidate and in your recent February 14th statement, would do virtually nothing to reduce crime or help more Americans keep their families safe. It's deeply troubling to witness you using the solemn anniversary of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting to advocate for new gun laws that, even had they been in place 3 years ago, would have done nothing to stop those heinous murders. You called on Congress to pass a law requiring universal background checks, but pointedly failed to note that the murderer purchased his firearm legally and passed a background check. Further, your proposal last year to impose a new tax on millions of gun owners would disproportionately harm working-class Americans who can least afford it during these difficult economic times. Lower-income Americans should not be forced to choose between protecting their families and breaking the law, or handing over their firearms to the government and leaving their homes unprotected. If you are truly interested in advocating for common-sense gun law reforms that are grounded in reality, rather than anti-gun political ideology, we urge you to consider a new path with the goal of keeping Americans safe by ensuring they can protect their families and loved ones at all times. It has been demonstrated time and time again that criminals, by definition, have no respect for our laws, and so the focus should be on supporting those law-abiding Americans who choose to protect. The fundamental right to protect oneself and one's family appeals to all Americans and cuts through party lines. We see that every day at the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, where we proudly have hundreds of thousands of members from all across the political spectrum. In the past year, nearly 5 million new gun owners have joined the more than 100 million Americans who already own guns. Record numbers of Americans have been purchasing firearms to keep themselves and their loved ones safe, and the number of gun owners seeking self-defense education and training is at an all-time high. Women and minorities are now leading the way as the fastest growing groups of concealed carry permit holders in the country, as well as in the membership of the USCCA. Each of these responsible, law-abiding Americans has stepped forward to take responsibility for protecting his or her loved ones in an increasingly chaotic world. Yet our government's antiquated patchwork of concealed carry laws is putting them at risk. How is it common sense that a law-abiding American who has passed a background check and is legally allowed to carry a firearm in Virginia is subject to arrest and imprisonment if he or she steps foot over the state line into Maryland? How is it common sense to tell parents that they should avoid air travel during the COVID-19 pandemic and travel by car with their families if necessary, but they're not allowed to protect themselves depending on which states they drive through. In short, there is nothing common sense about America's patchwork of concealed carry laws, and that is why we need national concealed carry reciprocity, where state-issued concealed carry permits are treated just like driver's licenses. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists to help responsible Americans avoid danger, save lives, and keep their families safe. And we believe that our elected leaders in Washington have an incredible obligation to pursue these same goals. That's why Congress and your administration should support the most responsible citizens of the nation, concealed carry permit holders, and help ensure they can protect themselves and their families at all times. National concealed carry reciprocity, not higher taxes or more stringent regulations on already responsible gun owners, and certainly not removing the means by which those responsible gun owners can defend themselves and their loved ones, is a truly common sense reform that will help more Americans keep their families safe. We urge you to support it. Sincerely, Tim Schmidt, the USCCA president and founder. So there you have it. That is the letter from the USCCA directly to President Biden. And you can see that a lot of people got a little flustered when they saw the phrase, "We agree there are several common sense and long overdue changes needed to our nation's gun laws." And because of that, I reached out to them personally to ask about this because there are people out there who have a concern. And I was assured that when he said common sense gun reforms, Tim was referring to national concealed carry reciprocity. And I was absolutely assured that they do not support any other proposed legislation that targets legal gun owners. The USCCA believes in our natural-born right to self-defense and will continue to advocate that point through their platform. They also recommend people watch the video I mentioned that I'll link down below, in which you'll see Tim's tone much more clearly. But I wanted to let everybody know that the USCCA is looking out for us. They love freedom, and they want our rights to extend past a dotted line on a map. And for that, I am grateful that they wrote this letter. So if you would like to support those who support you and you want some protection, God forbid you have to save those who support you, click on that link, uscca.com/GNG, and become a member, just like myself and my family. All right, guys and gals, if you're into Second Amendment news, no matter where it happens, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, you'll find it here on Guns and Gadgets, so please consider subscribing and join this growing freedom family. We would love to have you, and your voice makes us stronger. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.